Sienna is hard at work, continuing building her little shop. And actually, I think it's turning out to be quite a big shop. um, but I've just been having fun thinking about exactly how I want it to look, what I want the end product to look like. But in any case, in a previous part, I realized that we still owe her one more week of fall. It looks like Paca wants to come over, so we will say yes to that. And we also want Sienna to do a little bit more work to try to get a little bit of money. Because, of course, as she's building, she loses money, right? So we want to make sure that we are actually making money in the meantime as well. And here comes Paca. The walk style, his default walk style, I think, is hilarious. All right, so let's see what we got here. Oh, I think in the previous part I said that he already had the keys, but I guess I forgot that I hadn't actually done that part yet. I apologize. I was trying to be, I don't know what's the best word to use, we're productive. So I recorded a bunch of parts at one time without actually editing them. So that's why sometimes I'm a little out of order. But in any case, now he has a key. But I think I said that he doesn't come over, and I think, yeah, it was true. Anyway, he doesn't really come over. He'll usually just ask before he comes. But we're going to get started on this project. And Sienna is sick a lot recently. I'm not exactly sure why, but Paca's just going to hang out with her for a little while she does her work. And something very strange happened where she was kind of popped outside of the house when I tried to get her to take the medicine. It was very weird. But in any case, she has finished those items, and now we're going to try to send them. But as you can see, they get rejected. And I really hate when this happens, because usually when they get rejected, they don't ever get accepted. That's the first problem. And the second problem is, you can see I did 3 of them to try to circumvent that problem, but all 3 of them were rejected. That doesn't make any sense. It only really asked for 2, but, so that sucks. So we'll see what we can do with that. And actually, this entire first part was like one of the most stressful moments of my recording for her. Because first of all, she keeps getting sick. That was the first problem. And then the second problem is that I wasn't able to build as much as I wanted to each time. And then, of course, now, because, she's just not making a lot of money generally. And of course now, it takes a lot of time to make each of these little things. And I spent time enough to make 3. All 3 of them got rejected. Now I have to edit them, and editing takes so much time. Like, I can't express how much time we wasted trying to edit these things. You probably can see the passage of time at the bottom of the screen. And we're going to try to send them again, and we'll see what happens. Oh, well, she gets attacked by bats, as per usual. If it's not bats, it's bees. Yeah, and something really weird is going on. After she got, magically teleported outside for some reason, she hasn't been quite right. So you can see her tablet still stuck on her arms. But in any case, yeah. We're just having a little bit of trouble with this one. So we're just going to go ahead and quit the job. And we'll just try to salvage the money by basically selling them like we would normally sell a painting. I think that's the best way to sort of remedy the situation. So we'll get her to come out. But of course, because she got stung by bees. Oh, no. Yeah, because she's sick all the time. If it's not one thing, it's another, right? Because she's so miserable. Like, she can't. She worked really, really hard today for nothing, right? So it's really frustrating. So she unfortunately is in a really bad mood, and she's not able to make any money really today at all. She just spent money, but she didn't make anything. So we're going to drag out the tent, have her relax and sleep, because that'll help build her fun as well. It's kind of a cheat, but if it's in the game, it's in the game. You know what I mean? All right, so it's basically not time for her to get up, but we need to make some money. Otherwise, we can't even make our bill payment, our loan payment. So we need to make sure we're at least making enough money every day to do that. And I did set the markup quite high because, as you can see, the value of the paintings is just not very high. And I need to try to recoup some of the money that we lost, you know? So, yeah, I kind of set the markup, I think, to the max just for this part. And as you can see, the fun never ends. This was supposed to be the best part because, it's like the accumulation of everything. Her making her room, that's one thing, right? And her getting the baby is the second thing, right? And I'm just trying to get there, but as you can see, it was a little frustrating. In any case, I'm going to use up some of that money to continue building. And this place is going to have a really wacky floor plan. Like, it's not going to be an average kind of floor plan. What I have in mind is very, very nice, comfortable, very colorful, very Sienna. So you see it's taking shape. But it's a little slow going because we just have a little bit of money at a time. And I am going a little bit back and forth and stuff, trying to make it look a little bit realistic. So, if I'm redoing the walls or whatever, it's just to make sure that, it's actually going to function as a room. And I'm just, putting in a few more of those little items to make it look real. Very nice, very cool. I feel like, okay, we were just slowly building up, right? Okay, so finally, it's the big day, and I'm super excited for her, but she is super nervous, even though it says she's confident. She's almost nothing short of confident, just simply because, she brushes her teeth often enough, and that makes you confident. But she still is feeling a little scared. But we're going to have a little bit of breakfast for this morning. Just a quick meal so we don't waste too much time. I believe there she goes again with the bats. She just can't win. She found a few bucks or a few simoleons, I guess I should say, and then was immediately attacked by bats. And yeah, she's feeling a little nervous tummy action going on. All right, but here we are, the big day. She's here with her mom, and her mom is also super excited to be meeting her granddaughter. She's not excited about her own pregnancy, but she's excited for her daughter to be starting this new chapter in her life. She thinks that Sienna is too young for this, and she is still kind of shocked or surprised that Sienna would take such a big step, especially without really talking it through with her, except for like the first time that they talked about it when Monica was basically like, this is a really stupid idea. And Sienna just completely ignored her and told her, I'm going to do what I want. But Monica's aware that, Bill went with Sienna to do the paperwork and everything. She's aware that everything was finalized. And so she's excited for Sienna, but still worried at the same time. And you can see here in the corner, that girl, the mother of the child, basically, is here with one of her uncles, her uncle-in-law, because her uncle can't be there. But they're going to kind of sit in on the proceedings and kind of give their blessing, kind of. Like the girl is basically going to give up her parental rights to Sienna. Even though the baby is basically Sienna's, it's kind of like a kind of finalizing kind of thing. But her uncle's not happy about that. Her uncle is actually very, very angry about it. Him and his husband are really looking forward to sort of helping her through the pregnancy. They don't have any children, but they've always wanted children. That's why they have those dogs. At least that's in my imagination, right? So he is really not happy about the fact that they basically lost the child, and he had no say in it whatsoever. It was just, everything was done without their consent, basically. But, what's done is done. But, as you can see, he doesn't want to hear anything from his niece-in-law, I guess. He's really, really not happy with her. He's like, we took you in, and this is what you do. It's kind of attitude, But Sienna's like, it's my baby. It's kind of spoiling her moment, but, it's still good, And so this lady here, who's basically in charge of sort of handing over the child to Sienna and her family, is trying to talk with the young girl and, trying to explain the situation to her. And the girl's just simply like, yeah, I get it. I'm not mad. I'm not upset or anything. But the uncle is really, really not happy. And Sienna's like, this is the most awkward moment of my life. But you can see Monica's meeting her grandbaby for the first time. So it's kind of exciting. Maybe we need to change a diaper. There she goes. Oh, Grandma changed a diaper. One of the unfortunate things is that I already named the baby No Name. And I can't change it. They won't let me change the baby's name. So we'll be working on that. Yeah, but Sienna and the girl are getting along kind of okay. But Monica and the uncle are not getting along at all. they don't really know each other. You know, this is the first time that really, except for Sienna, she has met the guy at a gym, but that was very briefly, right? But Monica, it doesn't like his attitude towards the niece, and you know she thinks that the energy is very negative around the baby, and she's not happy about that. But she's not helping by being even more negative, basically yelling at him for no reason. And you know he's just trying to explain the situation, and she's like, you know what? It's too late. The baby's coming home with us. So if I were you, I would just learn to live with it. And he's like, I cannot believe this situation. I cannot believe what we got ourselves into. And Sienna's like, you know what? This is a little bit stressful. So let's just go out, no hard feelings. And the girl's like, no hard feelings at all. So Sienna feels better about it. All right. So here we are taking the baby home for the first time. Yay. And sorry, Brent. All right, so there's no real good space to put the baby. We will put the baby in the house, but we can't do this part without being outside because there's just not enough space. But here comes Kohei. So Kohei has decided to help with the building. So Kohei is very much into real estate and things like that. So when he sees that Sienna is starting to build, he gets super excited. He wants to be kind of part of that process. And he also knows about the baby. Like she's talked to him about it before. And so he's like, oh, today's the big day. And she's like, yeah. Can I meet the baby? She's like, of course. But Monica's not happy about that. Monica is like, you know what? Who was that guy that you brought home the other day? Your brother and your dad told me about this. Like, she's like, well, what do you think you're doing? She's like, you can't have multiple guys like around your child. And Sienna's like, what do you mean multiple guys? Can you not be saying that type of stuff in front of one of the guys? Like, what's wrong with you? And Monica's like, what's wrong with you? And Sienna's like, you know what? I've had enough of your yap. Like I've had enough of it. And Monica's like, you've had enough. You've had enough. And Kohei's like, ladies, please. So now it's Kohei's turn to put on the charm. And Kohei's like, look, I'm the guy who helped her find this property. Okay. We've just kind of been, business partners, and I've been getting to know Sienna a little bit better. We're not in a really serious relationship, but we're sort of getting along through the business is basically what he told her. And so Sienna feels kind of like a sigh of relief. Like the situation where her brother accidentally ran into Paka and her doing things was kind of, stressful for her, but Paka sort of played it cool. And now this time also Kohei just totally plays it cool. So like I don't want to say the worries of the anxieties of the family about like what is Sienna getting herself into kind of get abated because the guys are kind of like understanding about the situation. And so, for Sienna, it's just kind of like, I have my baby. Finally, mom went inside. And so she's just like, I just want some time with my baby. Right. So this is what she's doing. While Kohei helps out a little bit. And her mom is also going to help out a little bit because Sienna is busted. Okay. Sienna had the most stressful like day and a half leading up to this. So she had her little private time with the baby. And now she's going to head in and take a nap because even though she didn't have the baby, it's kind of like an exhausting time for her. So she's just going to be like the new mom for a moment, and she's going to have a nap while her mom prepares a meal that she can have when she wakes up. And she's also hungry because she's pregnant, and you know how it is. And Kohei's just going to keep working outside, basically. So Kohei considers himself a business partner. Like, seriously, he considers himself her business partner. So he's just going to be, like, inserting himself in. And Sienna's not exactly going to be, like, rejecting his help, especially because he's doing it for free. And she needs the help, even though she wants to be independent. But we'll leave this part here. I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one.